Now with Pages, you know most of the features because you've already learned how to cut, how to paste, how to look up a definition of a word. So you are halfway there with Pages. Pages, once again, is an application that you need to download. So to get Pages, go to the App Store, click on Apps. And you see where I left off? I want to go over to this feature here where it says Featured. And then in my Google bar, I'm going to type Pages. Okay, click on Pages. And for me, it shows that it's already installed. So on your iPad, it may show free. So click on where it says free, and it'll give you the option to load it onto your iPad. Keep in mind when you are making a purchase, be careful that you are purchasing it for the right tool. Rather it's the iPad or your iPhone. So once your Pages is purchased, it will show a download on your home screen. Go to Pages, open up your Pages. I'm going to go to Documents, tapping outside of my screen. Pages work pretty much similar to how Keynote works, being able to create files, moving your documents around. It works the same way. To add files, add documents, you can do it here too as well. Again, the plus sign means you want to create a new document. It's done the same way in Pages. So I can choose any of these formats to create a file, or to create a document, excuse me. So in this case, I think I'm going to choose this format. Well, let's take that back. How about we choose this format right here? Okay, and basically what this does, it gives you access to sample letters or sample documents that you can use to create your own document. If you wanted to do a proposal project, or if you're looking at creating posters, that's what these are for. It'll help you, provide you an aid to creating your documents. So if I want to type something up, I'm going to choose a blank. And here, go ahead and type in whatever it is you'd like to type about. Let's say create. I'm going to okay, I'm just going to type a single word there, and I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to say select, and I want to say define. So again, in looking at definitions, this can also be used on the electronic books. Now you can type up whatever data that you wish to type. If you take a look at your screen to your right, this is where you can make changes. Once again, does that look familiar? As well, you have the same features as you did for Keynote. If you want to make changes, tap on where you want to make the change, tap on your paintbrush. If you want to change the font, make it bold, this is where it's at, underline, etc. So I'm going to land on creations. I'm just going to creation. Hold it down, let go. Click on there, let's make it bold. So I hit that bold, now it's bold. I'm going to underline it. If I want to change the fonts, I just click here, increase the size of that. Select it, paintbrush, increase the size. If I want to change the color, you get the idea of what you can do. Go back. Here, if you want to use any of these other features, if you want to use it as a heading, part of the bullet. So you have your features available here, and that's all under your paintbrush. If you slide over to list, that gives you the different types of images and image bullets that you want to use. Slide over to layout. If you want to add more columns to it, or line spacing, here's your line spacing. So everything is here under your paintbrush. But in order to make changes, you have to highlight what you wish to change first. When you're done, click anywhere outside of your screen and you're done. Your next feature is your plus feature. And you all remember what you can do with that plus feature. And yes, you can pick up a photo or a video and place it directly on your Pages document. And once again, Pages is your equivalent to Word. So I'm going to tap on my screen. I'm going to add a plus sign. There's my photos. Let's make it exciting and pick up a, how about a video? I'm going to go into camera roll and let's pick up a video. And here's a video that I created. And I'm going to say use. Once that video is created, I can move it anywhere on my Pages document, and I can shrink it down. Here's your handlebars. Shrink it down if you wish. And I want my video here to the side of my documents. So here I can type my document information. One thing I should show you about when you're adding pictures, photos, or videos to your document is that your document's fluid. You can take your video and it moves around the document information. And I'll do this on a larger document and you can see how fluid that is. So I go ahead and I complete my document, and then I can present my video. Tap my video and tap play. And there's my video. Okay, so that gives you an idea of what you can do with your pages. If you don't like what you created, just click on undo and undo again. Hit undo there. That's like your back arrow. And it's gone. I'm going to go back to documents and I'm going to pull up a document already created. Let's say this particular document. And I'm going to add a video to this document or a photo. And I want you to see how fluid it is. Let's just choose anything here. Okay. So I chose a photo, and again I can shrink that photo down, and here is how fluid it is. It can move around the information that you've already typed, and you can put it anywhere on your screen. You can do the same with the video recording as well. You can put as many pictures as you wish, as many videos as you wish. You can put multiple videos onto your document files. Shrink that down. Let's move the video here. That's where I want it, right there. So now I have a photo, and I have a video, and I have my documented information. When I'm done with that, I can go ahead and send that. I can email it out if I wish. Once again, your wrench is available for you to share. You can email it, print it, and you can share it multiple ways. So I'm going to email it in Word format. So it's going to convert it now to Word format. And there it goes. Okay. So that is Pages in a nutshell. The more you use it, the more you're going to get used to these features. Go back to Documents, and you're done. And there's your documents. And once again, if you want to put anything into a file, it's done the same way. Land on it, let it jiggle, and you can move it into a file. If you don't like it there, open that file, land on it, move it out of the file. Okay. If you want to get rid of it, land on that file, tap it, it highlights the edges, and you can delete it there. Same features as you have seen with Keynote. When you're done, hit done. Okay. As with Keynote, Pages has a guide that you can use to help you understand the features of Pages and how to use it. We went through all of the basic features that you will need for academic use. The main thing that you should know is that you can add whatever it is you wish onto your Pages documents. So that concludes Pages. And again, if you want to read more about Pages, it's available there on the Pages module. So I'm going to click on my home screen, and we're out of Pages. The next feature is numbers, and again, numbers is the same way. It's set up with the same features. You got your plus sign to the side if you want to add and create a spreadsheet. Choose any format that you wish to use. And again, these are some spreadsheets that are examples that you can use, or you can simply use a blank if you wish. Now, to put your numbers in, just tap where you want to place your numbers, and there you can place whatever information it is that you wish. Again, here you have your paintbrush, your plus, and your wrench. I think I'm going to go ahead and change the color. And that's under tables. Headers, you can create some headers if you wish. There's your cells, your axis for your cells if you want to do, if you want to use any of the bolding, the underlining, moving it to the center, to the side, however you want to change your cells. Creating border styles. The other feature that you have is your format. If you want to number it, if you want to use percentages, this is where it's at. Okay? Tap outside of the screen, it'll take you out of that feature. There, once again, is your plus sign. If I wanted to add a chart to my document, I could. So if I wanted to pick up this chart, tap to add data to this chart, and there I can add whatever data I wish. And then I'm done. An example of another chart, let's see. Here's one that's already created. If you'd like to move it around, there's handles here at each end, and you can create more files. Vertically or horizontally, you can add more columns, or you can add more rows if you wish. Now, when you want to change data, just tap on the file and click on where it says Edit. If you want to edit information, you can. And just complete it by hitting Done. And these are different features that you can use. Going back to your wrench, you can share it. Once again, you can send it as an email, you can print it, you can send it any other way if you wish. Again, it does have a search feature. Here's additional settings that are available. If you wanted to do a spell check, it's all here. And of course, there's your help. Okay, I'm going back to spreadsheet. And I'm going to create a spreadsheet once again. And I am going to use this feature here, blank feature. If I wanted to create information in this entire area, I can create this information as in this entire area. I can add and use any of these charts if I wish. something else that I'd like you to see. If I go back to Pages, and I'd like to add another document. If I tap on that blank page, and I click on Add, not only do I have access to add photos, but tables, charts, and shapes. So tables, charts, and shapes, these features, media, tables, charts, and shapes, you will see these same features throughout Pages, Keynote, and Numbers. So if I clicked on tables, for example, I can add that to my Pages document. Charts, if I wanted to add a chart to my Pages document, I can. Click on whatever chart you're interested in. And to change the data here, just tap on it. These handles will come up. Click on Edit Data. And you can go ahead and make changes to your data. Tap wherever it is you want to change. Type in your new number. Okay, and all you have to do is hit Done. And there's your new numbers. Again, if you want to make other changes, tap on it, Edit Data. See the little tool up on the top? That gives you the ability to plot rows or plot columns as series. Now once you're here and you're done, you can enlarge it or shrink it down. So if I wanted to leave that in just one small little area on my Word document, I could. Or I should say Pages document. So now you have an idea of how you can toggle back and forth with the same exact features between Pages, Keynote, and Numbers. Now going back to Numbers, if I wanted to add another page or another sheet, I could. It's right here. As many sheets as I want. And again, here's the plus sign, and there's your shapes, charts, tables, media, whatever you want to do to create your file. Here I can choose a shape if I want to add an arrow, or a chart if I wish to add a chart. So it gives you that access to add files wherever you wish. Tap to add data to this chart. So we tap, we're going to add data to the chart, and it allows you to select cells in any table to add your data. As with Keynote and Pages, you can place your documents into one file if you wish. And you can name it again. So you see how they're all pretty much the same. They all pretty much work the same way. When you're done, hit Done. And again, there's a guide here for you to use more features. So this is how to use Numbers in a nutshell. And basic features of numbers that will help you with providing presentations, or if you simply need to create documents for yourself. This is it. The next application is PDF. Now, we did look at PDF. I'm going to show you a few more features about PDF. PDF Expert. This is one of the files that I had in the PDF Expert. With the PDF Expert, again, you can annotate, you can edit, you can email your files, you can also create new folders each time. So there's so many things that you can do with PDF Expert. The best feature that PDF Expert boasts is the fact that the electronic books can be downloaded. I cannot emphasize that more. With academics, by downloading the electronic books to the PDF Expert, you have your whole file of reading material available to you. I'm going to show you some files that I have created that might help you with ideas as far as how you would like to use the PDF Expert in your classroom. For example, for the NUR 213, that's the second year students, these are some courses that I have taught. I went ahead and downloaded the reading material and placed them into these files. So for this one particular section, there's all my reading material. Going back, I'm clicking here on these arrows here to get back and forth. Here's emergencies, and there's my reading material. If I just click on the reading material, it'll pull it up. Once again, I can enlarge it or I can reduce the size. Let's look at looking up a word. Once again, you land on the word, it highlights the word, go to dictionary, and it tells you what the word means. So students, can you think about ways that you could use that feature while you are reading using your electronic books? So how many words did you find that were foreign in the nursing language? So with that said, this feature is one of the best features that most of the students enjoyed because they felt that it enhanced their reading. They did not have to refer to a dictionary. It was a built-in dictionary available for them right there. So when I'm done, I simply go on to this arrow and I go back into my files, back again. Now to create these files, I hit File here. There we go. I'm going to name this new folder Miscellaneous. And I'm going to hit Done. Okay, so now I have a miscellaneous file waiting for files to be filed to it. So I'm going to hit Edit. And I'm going to click on let's see, how about DHS roster and maybe the joint Harkness. I'm just going to put maybe those three into that file. So once they're selected, so I hit Edit, and then I'm going to select it, and then look at the top here. These are the features that will open up for you once they're selected. I can either copy it, which means it'll stay in this area and into the folder, or I can move it. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Move. Find the folder you want to put it in. In this case, I'm going to put it into Miscellaneous and hit Move. Okay, now I'm going to go to that file, Miscellaneous. There's my 3 items. Okay. So that's the one feature I wanted to go back and show you on this PDF Expert, because the one thing about academics, as we all know, is staying organized and staying on top of our files is the only way to survive, whether you're a faculty member or a student. So, and as well, there are learning manuals, again, as I mentioned earlier, available through PDF Expert. I would suggest go ahead and look through the guide. It's a wonderful guide, and it just takes you through each area, and it gives you a little bit more detail as to what you can use each application for, and pretty much use it to your own needs for your course. You may not need all the features that's there, but the one thing about PDF Expert is that when students go to clinical and they type their data into their clinical documents, and then they email it to themselves and then upload it from their PC to Moodle. Once that's done, as an instructor, I can go right to Moodle from my iPad, and I can pull open their documents and make corrections on my iPad. If I need to upload the information back to the students, however, I need to email it to myself or go through iTunes, transfer the files through iTunes onto my PC, and from my PC I can upload it to Moodle. And that's because iPad, you cannot upload documents from your iPad to Moodle. But it's 2 seconds. It really doesn't take much time. And as students, if you're typing your documents, your clinical documents up at Clinical, it's just that one time, and then you're done. Many students will write down their information and then go home and then take the same information and type it into their computer, and so there you have double work. This is one way to eliminate the double work. Now, to get the blank documents onto your iPad, I'm going to go back to the very beginning here. You basically email it to yourself, and the same way I showed you how to email your PowerPoint to yourself and open it up in Keynote, well, it's the same thing for these documents. So I'm going to show you an example. Let's look at new clinical paperwork, and I'm going to email this to myself. So here you are. PDF Expert has the same features. Click on that. I'm going to email it to myself, send by email. I'm going to leave it again. Always use this document file because that way it can be edited. And I'm going to send it to myself, and off it goes, and send. Okay. So while that's sending, I can't emphasize more how important these 4 files are for any program, whether it's the nursing program or mathematics or English. These files are so helpful in so many ways. And you can design it to however your course is laid out. Now, with these forms, these are the forms we use for clinical. These are the forms the students are used to using, and faculty. So by loading the PDF Expert with all of the forms that we need, you can work with it anytime, anywhere. And once again, this is all offline. You don't have to have wireless access to work on clinical paperwork. So if you're using your iPad at clinical to collect your data, you do not need wireless access or 3G. It's already downloaded into your iPad, and you can go ahead and just start typing your information. So yes, they're $9.99 each, but they're well worth every $9.99. I just cannot emphasize more how important it is. If you're going to purchase anything, be sure to have Keynote, because as faculty and students, we always have a presentation. When we're looking at contextual teaching and learning projects, Keynote is such a wonderful feature to have, because I will give you an example of a contextual project that we did here in the classroom. The students were allowed to choose groups. And the size of the groups were 4 or less. They did not have to be in the same clinical. So these students were allowed to choose one patient that they've worked with and think about problems and solutions that they could research to improve care at the bedside. So among the 4 students, let's take, for example, one of the groups. Among the 4 students, they had to decide which patient they were going to work with, which patient they were going to present, which patient they felt had the most concerns, and which patient they thought would provide them the best research. So from there, they chose a patient. HIPAA is in place, so they all signed a HIPAA statement in the very beginning of class when they reviewed their syllabus. They also signed a statement that they were okay to be video recorded. So once all of that was in place, the students will choose that one patient, write the information up based on the criteria that was laid out to them. And the criteria required that the students indicate what is the pathophysiology of the concerns with this patient, any family issues, any social or economic dynamics that might have affected the care of this patient. They had to look at all of the lab values, all of the medications that the patient took, and so on. And think about problems that they saw at the bedside that they felt they could have corrected but did not have the opportunity to. So basically they're looking at their own, they're reflecting on themselves. What can I do to provide better care for my patient? So basically that's what this project was. So they took a real life experience, being contextual, take that experience, and they reenacted the entire experience in the simulation lab. When they reenacted the experience in the simulation lab, they were able to video record themselves as nurses at the bedside, realizing what problems there were, thinking about what solutions they came up with for each problem. Now, these solutions had to be based on evidence-based. It had to be research-based. So every solution that the students came up with had to be viable in that sense. It is not a solution that they would come up with themselves. So they had to research that information. So once they had all of that completed, the video recording done in the simulation lab, they brought the video recording to the classroom and presented their information to the classroom and talked about problems that they saw and solutions and why they felt that these solutions would help improve practice at the bedside. Now, when the students thought about their patients, they had to also think about the concepts that we covered in NUR 111. So they could choose any concepts throughout NUR 111 that reflected their care and their needs to complete the project. Along with that, the exemplars as well. So some of the students talked about, for example, religious differences that might have occurred with family. Some of them talked about ethical issues that they might have seen. Every student talked about culture. Some of the students talked about family dynamics and role changes that they've seen. The other criteria that the students were required to do was to be sure that SBAR was used. So they had to show some form of communication format that was used among each other for improvement with communication as well. And also the National Patient Safety Goals were also required as part of this project. So it was their comprehensive contextual teaching and learning project, and with that, a video recording which they can use and reflect on for future projects and also for improving their care at the patient's bedside. So 2 things about this project. 1, it was contextual, and 2, they can debrief on it by having a video available for themselves. And by presenting it in the classroom in front of their peers, it allowed them the ability to learn how to do presentations too as well, besides content information. Now, when they did present the information to their peers, it was required that their peers also interact with other solutions that they might have seen that would be helpful. So not only did it help the presenters, it also helped the viewers. And that was our contextual project for the NUR 111. That concludes this module on using the applications. I'm going to go into Module 3, and I'm going to show you other applications that are out there. And Module 3, we have already talked about YouTube and how you can save YouTube into your own favorites. Now we're going to talk about Google and the rest of these features here. With Google, it is a free application that you can download. If you have your iPad, go ahead and go into your applications and download Google. Once you have Google, what I'd like you to look at first is where it says Applications. Click on that box that says Applications. And one feature that I felt was so useful for nursing is this one feature here called Translate. Mind you, when you're in Google, you have to be in a wireless environment or 3G. So here, if you hit Translate, it gives you access to translate from English to Spanish or Spanish to English. If you want a different language, just click on this bar and you can choose any language of your choice. Let's say Russian. And now search for whatever it is that you'd like to say. Click on this bar and type in, let's say, What? What is your name? Okay. And once you're done, click on the search. And it will come up in the Russian language and translate for you. As well, it is audio activated. So if I click on this feature right here, where it shows you the audio.
Как тебя зовут?
So that is how you can use this translator. Now, most hospitals have wireless environment. You may have to talk with the manager to see if it's okay to use the iPad in their wireless environment. Nice thing about this feature is if you're at the bedside and working with a Spanish patient, for example, and you need to communicate with your Spanish patient. Once you pull up a new language, hit research again, search again, and hit your translation feature here.
¿Cuál es su nombre?
So that is a wonderful application that you can use off of this Google site. Something that I think would be very, very useful at the bedside. Go into the rest of the features and you can see what else is available. I've also downloaded Google Earth, and I found that very useful for personal reasons. But this Translate is the key. It will help you tremendously with clinical and being able to translate for other languages. Another application that I think, especially students, you will find this very useful is the iRecorder. iRecorder, I believe, was $2.99, but it is well worth it. It's cheaper than buying a tape recorder. But if I wanted to record information in the classroom, while I'm typing on notes, this is multitasked. So if I go ahead and hit record right now, it is recording me as we speak. From here, I can hit my home screen. And from my home screen, I can go into notes. And I can be in the classroom typing up my notes. Once my notes are done, there it is, notes are done. So I can be typing up notes, and once I'm done, in the meantime, I'm still being recorded. So no matter where I go, I'm going to be recording until I hit pause. I can go to my PDF Expert. I can close this out. I'm hitting my home screen, mind you. Home button each time. I can go to PDF Expert and pull up some of the reading material that my instructor is talking about. Let's see, let's look at anything here. And say you're looking at emergencies and you're still in the classroom and you're taking notes and the instructor is talking. All the while you're recording the instructor. If your instructor is okay with that, of course you want to check with your instructor. And you're writing up notes and you're highlighting and working your way through class and doing everything you're supposed to do, sending notes to your friend if your friend is not there to do anything as far as class time. Study this. And there you go. While I'm working on that, I am still being recorded, and now you can see that we're already into 2 minutes. I'm going to hit pause so you can hear the quality of the recording. Once you hit pause, you can either resume or stop, so I'm going to hit stop. And now I'd like to play. I've recorded other things, but here I'm going to hit play. Just highlight it and play. It is recording me as we speak. From here, I can hit my home screen. And from my home screen, I can go into notes. And I can be in the classroom typing up my notes. Once my notes are done, there it is. Notes are done. All right, so you have an idea of how this works. And again, it's called iRecord. I'm going to stop it there. And if I'd like to get rid of that recording, hit Edit. Click on the one I want to get rid of. Delete, and it's gone. And hit Done. And there you are. That's iRecord. The next one is iSwifter. iSwifter is a Flash workaround. Most of you probably know that the iPad is not Flash compatible. So there is this one application that's out there. I believe it's $4.99, well worth the $4.99, but it works around Flash content. So if I had a video that was Flash content, I can just click on my iSwifter and it'll work around that content. And I'll show an example. If I click on iSwifter, it looks like a child's game application, but it's more than that. And if I click on Google Games, up on top in the URL window, go ahead and type in whatever area you're trying to get into. So in my case, it's the North Carolina electronic books. Now the electronic books are accessible on the iPad, you saw that. But the videos are not, because the videos are Flash-based. So in order to pull up those videos, I'm going to blank the screen out for a second so I can put in my password. And I'm going to go ahead and log in. Okay, keep in mind I'm still within the iSwifter application. See this little icon here that looks like a rocket? That's how you know you're in the iSwifter workaround. So now I'm going to pull up a video under Assessment. And I'm going to pull up a Watch and Learn video. It's connecting. It has just a tad of a delay, but it works. And there's the video. Okay, and the volume does work. So this is a workaround for anything that is flash content. And again, you just put the URL address up on top, or you can Google whatever it is that you wish to Google that you think might be flash content material. You have a quick workaround for that. And it's, again, it's called iSwifter. And to come out of that, I can just hit my home button. And that goes through Safari. And I can close everything I want out. Going back to our features. So that's your flash workaround. Here is a feature that I use to secure my iPad. This Find iPhone also finds your iPad. So it's an application that is free. So if you go to your App Store and download Find iPhone, this feature is going to save you a lot of grief. We did have a student who lost her iPad, and so she used her Find iPhone, and it showed her a map as to where her lost iPad was located. So it's a very useful feature. For example, if I lose my iPad and I need to locate it, all I need to do is use anybody else's iPad to locate it. Another iPad, another laptop, another desktop if you wish, and just type the information in. Type in your Apple ID and your password, and once you type that in, it will locate your iPad for you. I'm just going to show you what it looks like here. You'll get a better demonstration on it if you're using your PC. So once you do achieve your Apple ID and your password, go ahead and try and use this feature. Again, you want to locate your iPad using a PC or laptop or anybody else's tablet if you wish. And once you achieve access, go to Find My iPhone, and basically this is what will come up. Type in your address, and I'm going to disconnect for a second. And your password. And once you're done with that, and I'm sorry, it is taking a while. Okay. right. Okay, now it's loaded up. My Wi-Fi system is just a little lagged right now, but once I typed in my password, this is a map that will come up. So, for example, if you are on your desktop and you're trying to locate your iPad, you'll see a map. It'll show you exactly where it's located. So here you're seeing that it's here on the Mitchell campus, and you can create a sound, send a sound to beep your iPad. So did you see the little eye I clicked on? This eye here, click on that and say play sound. There's several things you can do. Remote lock it or remote wipe it. If you remote wipe it, it will wipe your iPad clean. So that's one reason why you want to make sure that you're keeping your iPad synced with your iTunes, because all of your applications would be saved on your iTunes in the event you need to use that feature. But right now, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to use play sound or send message. If I hit play sound or send message, this message box can come up and I can actually send a message, and I'll say, please bring my iPad back. And I can send that message. And along with that, the binging sound is so annoying. It will bing for, I believe it's 3 minutes. Don't mark me on that, but it does bing for quite some time. And the recipient cannot turn that bing off. But you can. Now this is you on a PC desktop looking for your iPad. So you can hit OK when it is located, or you can allow it to continue to bing if you wish. But in this situation, I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, and then here a confirmation email has been sent. So hit OK there too as well. So that is an idea of how you can use this one application. Also keep in mind, using remote wipe will prevent you from locating your iPad. So if you're at a desktop, you're trying to locate your iPad, using remote wipe, you will not find your iPad again. Okay, because it wipes everything out. Your codes, everything. However, the only time that I can see remote wipe being useful is if you have very important data on your iPad that you don't want revealed. Then I would say go ahead and remote wipe, such as bank statements and what have you. But just keep in mind, you may never find your iPad again, but it will wipe out your information. So this is that one final feature that I wanted to show you. Make sure you sign out. And again, it's called Find iPhone. Go into your application store. Google Find My iPhone. And again, it shows that my iPhone is installed. So go ahead and click on the free box there and install, and it will be on your iPad. A very, very good application to have. Once it's on your iPad, go to your settings here and See to the left, these are all applications that you purchased. And scroll down. You'll notice that you can get in and out of any of the applications that you purchased. Also, your general window gives you all of the features that you want to know about your iPad. So, for example, if you go to About, this will tell you everything about your iPad. It'll tell you what gigabytes you have available, what's your capacity, your available space, your model number. And one thing that's real important is here your serial number. So anytime you call Apple support, which you do have access to because you are now an iPad owner, or if you become one, this is the number they're going to need. And once again, it's under your settings, general, and serial number. They will need that information. If you have upgraded your iPad, it will tell you here, this is the version that it's at. So they may ask you, what version do you have? And these are the two pieces of data that you may need whenever you call Apple support. If I click on iCloud, see where it says Find My iPad? I have it on. So you want to make sure that feature is on. If you don't want it to be on, obviously you can turn that off. But that, again, is in your settings. Click on iCloud and make sure you turn that on so it is working. This concludes everything about the iPad. I hope this information will be helpful for you in your academic needs as far as instructors or students, or even if you just want to use it for personal use. I have found this tool to be very useful in many ways, and I hope that the features that I've shown you are going to be helpful for you, for your course, or as a student, or in your personal life. Again, there's so many different areas that you can dive into that the iPad offers. And one thing I'd like to show you, I'm going to hit my home button, go back into settings. One thing I'd like to show you is that there is a user manual for the iPad. Go under General. Excuse me, we're going to have to go online for that. Use your Safari, pardon me. Once you're in Safari, click on your little book icon there, which will bring up your bookmarks. On the very bottom, you will see iPad User Guide. So click on iPad User Guide. And I think I showed you some of this in the beginning, but you can toggle back and forth and use this as your guide to learn about more features in depth. So I would suggest going through this and reviewing some of the content we already covered so you don't forget. And again, the more you use it, the more it's going to feel like second nature to you, especially if you're a PC user. Don't get frustrated. You may find some frustrations on the way, but you will find that this iPad is quite useful. So there's your access to all these different features that you can use. Another area that I'd like to talk about is the newsstand. This is free from iPad, and you can load whatever books you'd like into your newsstand. And then also there's iBooks, and you can load whatever books you wish into your iBooks if you just tap on the books. And you should have iBooks already on your iPad. If you don't, you can download it again for free. I'm going to hit on Library to get out of there. And these are all the books that I downloaded. Most of them were free. I think there were 2 out of this whole rack that I purchased. And if I wanted to read about anything in my iBooks, there it is. And you can change your pages here. Just hold down and slide over, and you can flip your pages up. So that's iBooks in a nutshell. And going back to iBooks, just want to let you know that you can save your page. If you just click there, that's your that's how you can bookmark your page. If you want to play your music, just click on Music. And I'm going to go to my playlist on the very bottom. And I'm going to choose a music to play. And once again, if I hit my home button right now, my music's going to continue to play until I go back to music and turn it off. And there's my off switch. Just click on that pause right there. And you notice it will pause, which means if I want to exit out of my music, it will come right back to where I left off. So that's another nice feature about the music. This is most of what you need to know for academic needs, and also obviously personal needs. And then here I just want to show you that if there's anything pending, it'll show up. If you want to move any of your icons to the very bottom, which I would recommend, these are applications that I use the most. So I move them down to the very bottom. And you will notice that this remains in a stationary format. As I toggle through my screen, this remains stationary. So no matter where you are on your iPad, you can access your favorite applications here. And to do that, once again, tap and hold. It'll jiggle, and remember, when it's jiggling, you can move it, bring it down, and let go. To stop the jiggling, 1 tap on your home screen. And there you are. That concludes the 3 educational modules for the iPad. If you have any questions, please let me know. Again, my name is Nadine Pruitt, and I'm an instructor here with Mitchell Community College. My email is N as in Nancy Pruitt, P as in Paul, R-U-I-T-T, at Mitchell, M-I-T-C-H-E-L-L, cc.edu. And if you need more information, if there's anything that I can help you with, if you're planning on putting together an iPad project or program, I would be more than happy to help you. If I'm available, I'll be happy to speak for your classroom environment if you need that. As well, students, if you need assistance, let me know. Fellow faculty, I sure hope that you'll find this tool useful, and as well as students. And here's other helpful links that you might want to use. And I will be happy to email this to anybody if you wish to see these links. Or, of course, as you view it here on the NC Lore, you'll be able to find these links. Very, very helpful links. The Apple support, I'm sure many of you may be calling Apple support. If you have problems with your iPad, with the iCloud, with your Pages or Keynote or any of the Apple applications, they can help you with that. And also too, if you have problems with syncing your iPad, this is a good number to use. The 1-800-APPLE-CARE, I have that on speed dial on my phone. So I find these links quite helpful. I hope you'll find this helpful, as well as understanding how to use the iPad as a tool. This concludes the 3 modules, and I wish you luck on using the iPad, and I hope that you have found this useful. Thank you.